Hello, this is Ian Noel Camalotis for CEntertainment Media, and welcome to Here At. So here I am again at the Chicago International Film Festival as they celebrate their 59th year. And that's more than half a century here in the Chicagoland area, and it's the longest running competitive film festival in North America. Now, what's interesting here is I'm in a slightly different location, as this year's hub, among the many other theaters that they're going to be hosting at, which is the Music Box Theater, Gene Siskel's Chicago Cultural Center, and many more. Check out the list online. But this year, the main hub is no longer at the AMC that we've gone to in the past. This year's hub is in the New City Shopping Center at the AMC New City 14 Theater, which at one point, prior to becoming owned by AMC, used to show independent films and old films as well. So great place to show the arts again here. One of the nice things about this New City area is there's a lot of places to eat, quite a few places to shop, especially if you're going to be in between films, but also a lot of residential areas. So for those who have not been exposed to the Chicago International Films Festival, they can just come out of their homes and just say, let me check it out and see what movies there are. Now, there is streaming available for those residents that cannot be in person for the Chicago International Film Festival, which means if you're in the Illinois or Indiana or Wisconsin area, you'll be able to purchase tickets for some of the streaming films, which there's quite a few that are being streamed online, quite a number of them that you can. Otherwise, some of the key films will be shown at one of the theaters here. Well, right now, I'm actually here before the film festival starts at the press screenings, and I'm going to be here throughout the whole event, so let me show you around and see how the festival is this year. So, as a big fan of cinema and film, one of the things I feel that's important, at least for me, is also attending international film festivals or just film festivals in general that bring you films of different genres and from different backgrounds. And for example, here I am at the Chicago International Film Festival. It's the longest running competitive film festival in North America, and I had seen advertisements of it going around when I was growing up, and I never really took the chance to check it out until about 2009, when I was working on my friend's news website, my friend Zach, ZachsTV.com. He asked me to be the entertainment editor, where I would review films, talk about them, TV shows, and one of the things I enjoyed about it was just being able to see films, but I wanted to take it a step further and I wanted to be at certain events, and that year I decided to ask to see if I should go for doing press for Chicago International Film Festival. He said yes. We worked on it and got myself accredited, and that's where I started to open my eyes to not just non-Hollywood films, more independent films, but also films from around the world. And then on, I started ranking the films that I saw from best to worst based on my own criteria. And I actually shouldn't say worst, because even though film that would end up in last place in my rankings of films that I saw at the film festival really a lot of times were not the worst film. They were just the weakest out of all the ones I saw, and would be still films that I would still recommend. So it became a key thing for me to be able to see these films, both films I wanted to see, and if I couldn't, film other films that I never expected to see. And I've been doing that for all the feature-length films, which gets very difficult since there's so many different genres and films from around the world that are made differently than what we're used to. But then more recently I started ranking the short subject films, which I keep separate from the long feature-length films, because those films are shorter, they're a different animal, and a lot of times they're done in a different way to tell a story in some unique way. And I've learned the appreciation of watching films from going to festivals like this, to be able to see films I would not normally be able to see, but also meet with a lot of the filmmakers and actors and pick their brains about what their thought process is with making the film, and hearing the advice that they give to those who want to pursue that career in the film industry. And it's very humbling to see that a lot of them really work hard at their craft, but at the same time too have so many ideas that goes around in their head. I've met quite a few filmmakers here. One example is I met a director I'd like to shout out. His name is David Verbeek. I've seen a lot of his films here at the Chicago International Film Festival, such as Are You There?, which is the first film I saw, Full Contact, How to Describe a Cloud, and Club Zeus. I've spoken quite a bit with him in terms of his thought processes with films, been able to go to his Q&As. I've also met a lot of other filmmakers too that are more familiar to U.S. audiences, such as Ryder Strong of Boy Meets World fame. He was here for a short film made by his brother. I've met Haley Lou Richardson, an up-and-coming Hollywood actress, who had her first two films here. It was, if I remember correctly, it was The Well and The Young Kieslowski. And both films were premiering that year, and I got to meet her, see what her thoughts were with filmmaking and the start of her career. Now she's in Hollywood films now. And I've also met Ash Mayfair, who is a director who won for the Gold Hugo for Best Film for New Directors competition. And she had a Vietnamese film called The Third Wife. Going back to more U.S. audiences, I was able to meet and even get a pick the brain of Juan Antonio Bayona, who at the time premiered his film The Impossible, starring Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor and Tom Holland. More recently, one of his more recent films that I saw of his was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So just meeting a lot of these filmmakers and just being able to talk to them, show appreciation for their film, try to ask them what their thoughts are, has been really eye-opening and thought-provoking. And it makes me wish more that, I had started at least a little bit earlier in terms of thinking about filmmaking in general, or at least pursuing it. But just being able to watch films, see different ways that they're made, see how other cultures view their films, and learn about other cultures through films from their country has been a really great experience for me, especially as a cinephile and fan of movies in general. I love watching movies, especially in the theater, and it's got this unique experience of having you focus on the story. Hence why in theaters they turn off the lights. They don't want any sound. They want you to focus on the story that they're telling. Um, Interestingly enough, I've loved going to the movies, and what makes it even more important to attend something like the Chicago International Film Festival, it reminds me of the world, or the many worlds to be explored, not just through cinema and story, but across the world, different stories to tell, different ideas, different ways of telling the story, and just being able to sit back and relax and being able to experience the story sometimes brings me to a point where I feel like I'm being drawn into it. I'm a part of it. I'm a bystander, or even somebody who is reliving the story, putting myself in their shoes of the characters. And it's a place like this, just simple theater, that really recreates that, something you don't normally get anywhere else. And it's why I love watching movies. And it's especially why I love
seeing any type of movie, whether it's big Hollywood blockbusters or independent films, or even movies that are shown in a film festival like this. So, yeah, it's a very unique and interesting experience to be in a movie theater where you're drawn into the story and your focus is only on that.
So here I am at the AM City. Let me try that again. So here I am at the AM City. Oh, she's not again. Not again. Well, here I am at the New City shopping area where the new AMC news, blah, blah, blah. Here we go again. Not just animated films, but animated shorts and live action shorts, and then as well as. Okay, I think I got it this time. I think I got it. Hold on. Here I am at the new AM City. Juan, this is happening all over again, and it's even worse. I'm blaming. Oh, Juan, it's happening again.